blah, 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 blah. It cost me money.
Already then.
Alrighty then. Now it goes, ah! What are you doing, little man?
I'm doing good.
Oh, you're videotaping?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do on that videotape?
I will boost it up and I could.
So what did we do today? You can tell people what we did today.
We bailed today.
No, turn it around so you can see what's going on. You're too close to your face. So we baled hay today, and we get a lot done?
Yeah.
We did. We got a lot done. We did about 100 bales today.
What?
About 100 bales today, and it was hay that was... Uh-oh. What the heck is that?
Other things but Cooper cheese.
Right muckers.
What?
Right muckers.
What's a right muckers?
Right muckers. We're going to be greasing our drive line today. You sure this wasn't greased?
It looks like it's grease.
It did.
Oh, I don't know. Grant said that this was your job yesterday and you didn't do it. You're all bullshitting with Kurt yesterday.
This was my job?
Supposed to be.
You mean I was bullshitting with who?
Kurt?
Oh. He, she should not be mentioned?
Oh.
No, you can
Not
mention.
supposed to mention that?
No, you're allowed. We're allowed to mention it. So we had a visitor yesterday and the day before. Well, we got to do some fun things that you wouldn't normally be able to do and say English. So I've got my beautiful wife. She's in that baler that she burned up and we've resurrected, and she's about to go bale. We got rain coming again. It wasn't supposed to be raining. We were supposed to have like 14 days of clear weather, and we just went through 2 inches of rain from that hurricane, and now we're got another rain system coming. It's gonna be 3 or 4 days of rain coming through. My corn is not at black layer yet, and I'm sure people want to see an update. So I have a test plot, and I posted that I had done a test plot, and I went in and I pulled 3 ears from 3 different varieties out of that test plot, those test plots, and they're BH genetics or B&H genetics. I have the ability to sell this stuff. I was asked to sell it, and I'm like, yeah, I'll sell it, but I want to try it first, because that's me. I want to try it. So this is variety 1. I don't know what number it is. Pretty decent ear. It's about 9 inches long. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 around. 20 around. And this is a 32,000 plant population, 32,100 or 32,200 plant population. $32. Count up 4, count down 4. 32 rows. So 20 by 32. This is another variety. Actually, let me show this one. This was the second variety. Again, beautiful ear, nice ear. In comparison to this one, it's a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer, but I don't know. It could be a row less. $16. That was 20. This is 16. $36 rows. So it's 16, but it's 36 long. That's what, 2 kernels more per thing there, per ear. We'll check kernel depth in a minute. There was a pollination issue, or a deer or something got up against this and screwed up the pollination there. Let's just ignore that for now, because that's on this ear only. It's just an anomaly, and we will count around here. $16. This is 16. $39. That's 39. 4 down, 4 up. 39 rows. So, yeah, close to 40. Let's do kernel depth. We are not at black layer, I can tell you that. The milk line is still about halfway. Black layer is when, and I did peel it off at the right spot. We're getting close to black layer on this one. You see that end, the tip there? I don't know if you can or not. That will turn black. And when that seals off, that means that no more nutrients are going into this kernel. Kernel depth seems to be pretty good. Yeah, seems to be quite good actually. So if you were to peel this off, watch this. If you pick this sucker off of here, let's see what I'm trying. It is not black layer. It's getting close. It's at brown layer. It is. You just see that discoloration. We're close to black layer. What that means is that it has sealed off the kernel. It is starting to dry down. All the sugars are turning to starch, but I still have milk in it. It's still wet. The milk line is here. You can see from the yellow to that's the milk line. Still about half the seed, maybe a little more than half of the seed is in the milk line on that ear. Again, BH Genetics. Fairly heavy ear, didn't weigh it. This is probably 35% moisture, so we're not going to bother with that. We'll go to this one. Milk line is even farther up on this variety. I'm going to pick that off of there, see if we are at black layer. We are not at black layer at all on this one. I can tell you that right now, just to look at it. It is not. It is not at all. This thing is still juicy Lucy. See that? Sweet. Really sweet. So the sugars are still flowing on that one. Still bringing nutrient into it. We got this third one here. Nice kernel depth on this 20 row. You could see the milk line on that, because the kernels are much more narrow. They're not as, you can see the difference. You see that this is the 18, or yeah, the 18, and then obviously the 16 is going to be even more. Let's see what beautiful kernel depth. It is still milky as could be. I don't know if you saw that. I'll do it again. Yeah, hold on. That one didn't do it. Yeah, still squirting. We'll go to see if it's a black layer. It's not. I guarantee it's not. It's just maybe just now starting black layer, but we'll see. No, still yellow, still milky. The milk line is actually about 2/3 of this kernel is still, the milk line is still, and I mean, this is pretty prominent. You can see it right there. There's a lot to go. This seed has, or this grain has a lot of maturing to do yet. It's made it, right? It has made it. It doesn't matter what happens from here out. There's plenty of moisture in the field. Still pulling nutrient out of the plant for the most part. It is nearing the end of that phase of its maturity. When that hits black layer, then all this has to do is dry down to about 20, 22%, 18%. Once it hits 22%, I'll probably start shelling. If it's above 22%, I am not going to shell it. If it's below 22%, I'm going to start. I would rather be shelling at 18 to 20%. Yes, there'll be some head loss, not a lot, but some head loss. Oh, it's so sweet though. You'll have some head loss at the drier it gets, but I think we can adjust the header to really minimize that by slowing it down and closing those the deck plates up, because it's all hydraulic deck plates, and we'll make sure that it cleans it really good, and we'll be able to move pretty quickly then. At 18% moisture, it's going to fly through that dryer at about 1,200 bushels an hour, 1,000 to 1,200 an hour. and we'll be running it up into that bin. So in 24 hours of harvest.
What you got?
Oh, beautiful. So you see the milk line? That's William's money. He put it in here. Yeah. So the
I was gonna steal some because I don't have enough, but okay.
she's gonna steal my money. Do you hear that? She came to see
Look
me
at
to
that.
steal my money. It's got beautiful kernel depth.
Beautiful
It really does.
depth. That's the B&H genetics.
Yes.
Sweet.
All of these were B&H genetics, and it's not black layer yet. No, it's not black layer. It's still pulling nutrients, and you can obviously see that it's still wet. So yeah, still maturing, still gaining test weight, still building.
Compared to this one,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So these are really nice too. This was not black layer, and this has been in this truck for 3 days. Oh. This was not black layer. You can see it's yellow. When I picked it, so if you pick this before black layer, the moisture will then wick back out of the ear and go back into the cob, and actually shrink your, well, it'll shrink your kernels. Yesterday these looked a whole lot better than what they do today, because it did do that. The milk line loaded with sugar. The milk line was about 2/3 up that ear, or up that kernel yesterday, day before yesterday. So it's been day before, then yesterday, 3 days ago. It was nowhere near black layer. So that's what we've got. Hopefully you enjoy this crop update. I do have soybeans. I can go up in the field and do a soybean update. I have a spider mite issue on one farm, and I have to do something with it. I got to get that taken care of. But I'll take you up in the soybeans to show you the pod sets on that. So I'm just going to randomly walk out here a ways into this. These were planted on the 15th of July. Planted July 15th. Only thing that was applied was secret sauce. Obviously one shot of glyphosate to take the weeds out. Effing chickweed is growing. So when I do harvest these, I'm going to cut the chickweed. I'm going to spray that chickweed as well. So yeah, we'll just walk out here a little way. Didn't harvest the straw, like I said earlier in these videos. No harvesting of the straw, because I wanted the potassium that comes out of that straw to flush into the soil and feed the plant plenty of ladybugs. You know, nobody wants to hear about ladybugs anymore, but that's okay. They're there. So I've got these planted fairly thick. These are about 220,000 plant population. I had planted a 230,000 plant population. The reason I did that was because I had enough to do 400 acres, right? I think it was 230,000. Anyways, whatever it was, I had enough to do, maybe it was 350 acres. 350 acres. I planted soybeans on 230 acres of ground. 100 acres of corn after wheat, just to see how it would do. I had the seed. It was a shorter season variety. I purchased it specifically for that, and this is what we have. So the population is much higher. The pod set is good. I would say it's good. Pretty much clear to the top. Are there a million pods on each one of these plants? No. No, but they're filling right now. We are 1 month away from a frost date. 1 month away from a frost date. So the earliest frost date is 1 month away. It is now the what day it is. From frost date. So they got plenty of time to fill. They are not producing any more pods. These are a group 3.0 soybean. The reason they're shorter here is because of the tongue from the tractor dragging. That does damage them. That's why I'm pretty soon going to have a self-propelled. Pretty soon, for next year, gonna have a self-propelled. If I got to spend 100 grand, I spend 120, $130,000. This is me standing in those beans. They are at my belt. I am 6 feet tall, so about 3 feet, 36 inches. You got a nymph there. So yeah, and you look here, these are better pod sets. 4 beans, 3 beans, 4 beans. They're 3 and 4 bean pods. filling out very nicely, plenty of moisture. I'm gonna get down here in the ground here, and I'm gonna show you what the straw does for you. Oh, and here's the other wonderful thing. This is wheat. So I've already got a cover crop here, wheat that, you know, didn't come out of it didn't shell out, so we got wheat. Now, I've pulled this back, and I'm gonna show you, this was no-till. It was no-till, or ultra no-till, or ultra minimum till. There's a lot of worm castings in here. Look at this guy. Here he is. Just living life to the fullest. This stuff is now really crumbly. It's crumbly now. Once it dries out, it's really crumbly. So what I've done is I've managed to cover the ground. We went through a dry spell we were at 16 days with no rain, and these beans showed no signs of moisture problems. They just kept blooming, kept growing, kept doing their thing. And some of the other farmers around had soybeans that were showing some drought stress. You can see it on the hillsides, on the knolls and stuff. They were drought stressed. Now they have that forced maturity. They're done now, but they were planted a month before mine. So we are in the moisture phase of the year. We're out of August, it's mid-September. So that's what we've got. We've got still beautiful growing plants. The aphids are under control. They are here, but they're not going to damage anything from now on, because these are out of vegetative state. They're in reproductive state. They're actually in pod fill state. I don't know what that is, VF6 or whatever. They're done. They're just ready to fill pods. And then from filling pods, look at that. I mean, look at that. 4 beans, 4 beans, 4 beans. Group 3O FS. They're great. Ladybugs are doing their thing. I'm seeing them everywhere. That's a good thing. If I sprayed insecticide on this, I would kill everything out here. Grasshoppers, aphids, spider mites, and the ladybugs and other predator type insects. So here's where the wheel tracks are. Here's where some wheat is growing. Might be a little bit of a pain in the ass on the combine, but I'm not too worried about it. It's a cover crop. So yeah, and it's all under there. I'm happy with that. The reason I didn't go through it again with glyphosate was because I don't have to spray, or I don't have to put in a cover crop. I don't have to put in that wheat to cover the ground for the winter to keep the biology alive. I don't have to do that. More ladybugs. There's a Japanese beetle. He's an asshole, but there's not that many. We're well below the threshold of, you know, a damaging or an infestation of those, and it's at the end of their life cycle is over. We got some grasshoppers. Yeah, a few grasshoppers. What are they gonna do? Take a couple of holes out of it. No big deal. But yeah, here we go. We can go anywhere. Look at these beans. Beans, beans, beans. So for something that was planted in July, you can't tell me that these things are not great, especially mid-July. We are mid-July, so we go August 15th, September 15th. We're at September 21st right now. So we're towards the end of September. If we get to August 15th, I think our frost date is October 18th is when they're saying we are going to have a frost. These will be done filling pods, and they will be turning, and we will be thinking about, you know, harvesting them by November 1. And, you know, I'm getting a new head for the combine to do that. I was going to use the old TR combine, but I figured, why put $4,000 into a head to harvest soybeans when I can go and buy a damn good header that has 0 problems with it for under 15,000 bucks, you know, and just come to the field, 35-foot header, boom, zip this off, zip that off, zip the other one off, and you know, be done in no time. I got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields on this farm that are soybeans. They are right around 45 acres of soybeans here on this farm. The rest is sunflowers. I put sunflowers in because I ran out of seed, because I planted at 230,000 plant population, And I'm looking at probably a 200 to 210,000 plant population here on these farms. You know, obviously, except where the straw mat was too heavy to penetrate it, but everything out there is incredible. I'm expecting, I was hoping for 35 bushels to the acre on a double crop. I'm expecting no less than 45 across the whole board, but it's looking more like 60. But we'll see, because we have a combine that will tell me. I've grown soybeans pretty much my whole career. I quit growing soybeans in 2014 was the last I grew soybeans, and then, you know, educated myself a little more in depth on how to make soybeans outgrow deer and be healthier and more productive. And I'm using those practices, and you can see what I've done. If you want to know what the secret sauce is, I'm thinking of selling the secret and then actually supplying the secret sauce.